Welcome to the Boxing Locker. I am Matt Goddard, former professional boxer, now boxing coach. And today in this video, I thought it'd be quite a fun thing, quite a cool idea to do a tools of the trade video here, taking you through all the equipment I use when I'm coaching people and sort of tell you what I use for what, when, why, who, all those kind of things. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my primary set of pads, mitts, for those of you that call them mitts. And I use this style of mitt. Okay, so these small pads here, I've got reasonably small hands, so my hand fits. There's not a lot of extra space. The good thing about that is it forces accuracy, so my wrists don't get spun and twisted and bent all over the place. The other good thing is it keeps me lots of mobility to throw my own shots for them to counter back. They haven't got to move too far or make the movements too dramatic to get under it. So I can throw these shots here nice and easy, and they can defend, slip, roll, do all of that stuff quite comfortably. The good thing is about these as well, as you can see here, they're quite thick, lots of padding, so I'm not absorbing an enormous amount of impact when I get hit clean. As always, the quality of the person you're holding the pads, the mitts for, is the important thing. Doesn't matter who they are. If they're hitting you down low in the wrist and stuff, it still hurts. But this is a great set of pads that I use for essentially 75% of the pad work I'm doing, whether that's just boxing for fitness or whether that is working with my boxers, any of the pros that turn up here, or any of the white collar lads that I train at the moment. So that's my primary set of pads. Then the next set of pads I have is this pair. Now these ones, again, nice and small, hands fit nicely. They're more arced, but as you can see, they're a lot thinner. So these are the pads that I use when I'm doing like fast reactive drills, flow drills, lots of punches, Mayweather-esque style, tapping, slipping, rolling, patting, all of that kind of stuff. Because with power shots, these ones feel a bit too much impact through my arms, through my shoulders, through my hands. But with that kind of flow work, they're nice and light, so I can keep them moving quick. I can catch punches quick. I can move them and react and do what I need to do and throw the shots. And also, they're nice and soft, so as they're catching people, if they do get hit, they don't do a great deal of damage, okay? So the curve of them as well makes a nice noise, which always helps. It keeps the client, the fighter, motivated because they hear that nice snap when they land correctly and they throw their shots with accuracy. So that's my second pair of pads. The next tool that I use is something that I've only really recently started using is paddles, okay? These are just from Amazon, Toughwear. I think they were about 30 quid or something like that. Very, very reasonable price. What's good about paddles, you see a lot of guys using these. No impact on my hands. It forces the fighter to snap their shots because you can't push the paddle or it's just going to fall all over the place. You can control range a lot better. So I'm out here holding the paddles here and the shots are landing all in the same spot. I haven't got to necessarily move them around and move my arms too much. I can just use the wrists to create new angles, go to the body, head, all of that kind of stuff. The other good thing about these for the client or for the fighter is as I'm throwing these, I've got a lot of range. I don't have to be too close. And they actually have to dodge them a lot more precisely because this is going to slap into the head, okay? So I use these primarily with people who are actually doing boxing for competition or for people who are using boxing to actually learn the specifics of boxing and improve their self-defense, build their confidence, because there's something different about seeing an actual thing that can hit you around the head or something that will hit you around the head and cause a bit of pain that sharpens you up, makes you more alert, makes your work more effective, okay? So these are good, cheap, cost-effective, protect my hands a lot. The only thing I would say is, where's the skin on my thumbs a bit where it's like rubbing as I'm moving it. And you need a lot of wrist strength to keep it moving from the wrists. Another good thing is that this teaches clean, short shots. So you, as I said earlier with the pushing, you can't push, so what that forces people to do is stab their shots into it, and then you get a better sound, which means obviously people are more motivated and they're punching better. So paddles, another great tool. Now these are something that I used a lot for a while that don't get a lot of use now because I've replaced them with the paddles. But these sticks, all the same premises. You can fling them out and throw them. hit them. The only thing with it is it's so narrow that it's difficult for people who are beginning or who are novices or who haven't got a great deal of experience yet to get the accuracy, because you've obviously got to be absolutely pinpoint to land the shots, especially with hooks and uppercuts. These are great, absolutely great for defense drills with experienced fighters. You're throwing shots at them, they're making them miss and move and defending and catching and blocking and slipping and rolling and pulling, all damn good things. So these are great for that. I would recommend getting a set if you can get them cheap enough. They are not worth paying an absolute fortune for though, because you can do the same thing with a set of very cheap paddles, or you can do the same thing just with a pair of gloves on throwing punches. So got those bad boys as well. Now, this is my my favorite thing I've got. Now, a pool noodle cut in half, that's all it was. Nice and easy. It's a swimming aid, but these are excellent, absolutely brilliant for working with young people, for kids, for working with novices, because if I absolutely twat somebody around the head with it and I hit them with a bit of force, it does minimal, in fact, next to zero damage. You get a little bit of a slap feel and then you're like, oh, and if anything, that's better because you still have that alertness. It still wakes them up and forces them to be reactive, but they're not in any danger of getting hurt. You can still use it for throwing punches. Again, it requires accuracy, but if they miss, it's not going to hurt me too much. If it gets moved around, they've got a lot of bend and flex, which is good. And then, as you will have seen with Ben Davison working with Tyson Fury is a good example. Eddie Reynoso working with Canelo. All these guys, this movement here, same premise as with those last ones. Great for head movement. You can go quick as well. You can go quick and pick the pace up and force that head movement to speed up. So they're brilliant. And the other good thing is if you have a fighter who's nearing a fight time and you don't want to injure them with the pads or scratch their face up, perfect, because these do absolutely no damage whatsoever, no matter how many times you hit somebody. So these are a great tool, ultra cheap, and I would recommend that any coaches that don't use them, grab a set, because they can change the whole game and make your defense work with your clients or fighters a lot better. Now these are these are just a little moment of reminiscing. So my company, prior to me changing its name to the Boxing Locker, used to be called Matt Goddard Fitness. I am Matt Goddard, and I built a lot more of it around boxing fitness before moving further into using my boxing skills to coach people to actually fight. I had these custom made by a great company whose name I really can't remember, but they had MGF on there, and I've had them for a long time. They're high quality leather, they're a really good pad, and occasionally I get them out. The only downside of these is they're very hard. So as people are throwing their shots, if they haven't conditioned their hands, then it can hurt. But I love these pads, they're great pads, and I'm hoping to never get rid of them and keep them forever. One day have them framed on the wall as a memory of the fact that I once used to be MGF. Anyway, just a moment of reminiscing. And then the last coaching tool I use is this Pro Box body bag. So wicked tool, over the shoulders, round the waist. Then you've got your targets for the hooks, up the center, down the center. I can hold the pads while I'm doing it, hold the noodles, do whatever I need to do. Often that's a good combination I use, holding the noodles and holding and having the body belt on, because you can work defense and counter into the body, getting in. That's really good for people to work on their aggression. It's also good for just conditioning that whole Ricky Hatton, Billy Graham type drill, where I'm just walking in with a body belt, keeping my hands up, and they're trying to work to the body, move their head, work to the body, move to the head. Great for fitness. And it's good for specific drills. So say I've got the pads on and I'm going jab, cross, hook, 1, 2, 3, then come down to the body for what I call the 7 or the 3B, depending on your preference. Come down to the body, come up to the head. You got the belt on, so you can really take them big whacks in there, and it doesn't debilitate you too much. So you can keep working those drills with your fighters for a longer time. So there we have it, guys. Those are the primary piece of equipment that I use. As I said, the main pair of mitts that I showed at the start, this pair, these are the pair that get the most use, just because they are the most simple and have the most padding, and you have a reasonable sized target for your clients or fighters to work with. Everything else gets used as and when, depending on the different things that I'm working on. So working with kids, working on defense, working to specific drills to get to the body, those kind of things. They all have their time and their place. If you've got any ideas for any other videos, sorry about that weird pause. If you've got any ideas for any other videos, or there's anything else you want to know, or further information, or you want to see demonstrations of any of this equipment, let me know. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on all the other social media, the Boxing Locker everywhere. Thank you for your time. Thank you to my 1.2 something thousand subscribers. I appreciate you all. I remember you here at the start, and I thank you for all of that. Have a great day, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you for the next video.